Hey all, thanks for checking out the video. Today I'm going to be starting part 1 of my new hero overview guide where I'm going to be going through each and every one of the characters in the game to go over their abilities, strengths and weaknesses, and a few tactics as well as some builds for that hero. All the footage you see in the video is taken straight from my live streams that I do 5 days a week. Link in the description if you want to check it out. I love helping new players get better in this awesome game, and now let's get right into it. If you were a professional quickscoper in Call of Duty as a kid, then boy do I have the hero for you. It's the one, the only, wait, where'd he go? Wraith is one of my favorite heroes in all of Predecessor. It was definitely not the hero I anticipated falling in love with in this game, but he's the very first hero I got to a level 10 mastery. When I first started using him, I thought that he was hot garbage, but it turns out I was just suffering from a chronic skill issue and I didn't know how to properly use him. Wraith is a long-range, high physical damage dealing hero who can be played primarily in the carry role, but also in the mid lane. He thrives off being able to use his long-range snipe ability called Knock Knock to deal significant damage from a safe distance and secure kills that may have gotten out of basic attack range. Let's quickly go over Wraith's kit so you can better understand what everything does, starting with his passive, Who's There? This passive ability replaces the traditional wards as well as being unable to exchange it for a sentry ward. This isn't all bad though, as Wraith's ward has a little bit more utility. Instead of having to run over and manually place the ward, you can throw it like a grenade wherever you need it, and upon landing, it will reveal anything in the area the same way a ward would. They don't last as long as a traditional ward, but they have a shorter cooldown so you can use them more often. Upon reaching level 6, the ward ability will upgrade to reveal any hidden enemies, but mostly it allows you to reveal the enemy's wards and destroy them. So it's sort of a combination of a sentry ward and a regular ward. Very good ability though, and I think it fits perfectly with this kit. Next up, we have his alternative ability, Knock Knock, which is right click on PC or right bumper on controller. This ability is going to be your bread and butter as Wraith. Upon tapping the button to cast Knock Knock, Wraith will zoom in with his rifle and change the reticle, allowing you to take a single, powerful, and long-range shot that can travel through any terrain. Upon either hitting a marked enemy, which I'll explain what that is in a second, or securing a kill either on a minion or a hero, it will refund 100% of the mana cost and reset the ability cooldown to 1 second, allowing you to chain snipe minions or other heroes. Then next up we have Wraith's primary ability, Peekaboo. By pressing Q on PC or left bumper on console, you can activate a piercing nanite grenade to throw at heroes or minions. Upon detonating, it will mark any enemies hit with the reticle and deal a small amount of damage and slow them for a very short duration. But more importantly, it enhances your Knock Knock ability to deal extra damage. The main purpose of this ability is to mark your enemy using the grenade and then use your Knock Knock ability to snipe them. But then, since hitting a marked enemy reduces Knock Knock's cooldown to just 1 second, you can then quickly use another snipe to deal even more damage. This in a nutshell is Wraith's whole deal, as if you can land that combo, the enemy is going to be in for a very bad time. But it requires at minimum half decent aim to be able to actually pull off the combos. Looking at you, full attack speed Murdoch and Sparrow users. Moving on to Wraith's secondary ability, Surprise Surprise. After a short delay, by hitting E on PC or left trigger on console, Wraith will become invisible and gain 20% movement speed. This ability also has a bonus passive that gives Wraith and his abilities an extra percent based increase in armor penetration value, basically just giving him a bit more damage. This ability is very useful for ambushing or potentially getting away from a gank unseen. You can still be detected by enemy wards or if they're in the circular radius around your invisibility, so be mindful of that. Then finally we have Wraith's ultimate ability, Back It Up. Personally, I find this very situational, but in those situations, it is extremely useful, especially in the late game. Upon pressing R on PC or both left bumper and right bumper on console, you can target any enemy in range to teleport back to their previous position after a short delay. This is very effective against enemies running away or catching someone out of position and ensuring they can't escape. Try and time using it if an enemy seems like they're about to blink away or if they're about to get out of your auto attack range so you can quote-unquote secure those all-important kills. These abilities together make Wraith an absolutely unstoppable beast that will delete you from existence faster than you can realize what's happening. A few quick gameplay tips to help you get better faster with Wraith are always be aware of your positioning and take advantage of your wards to keep potential ganking lanes warded and alert you to any unwanted attempts at violence. Because Wraith isn't the most mobile hero, positioning is crucial to success. This does make it easier considering he has some insane range, so if you position yourself behind your tankier heroes in team fights, you'll be just fine. Wraith is a very quote-unquote feast or famine hero, meaning if you get out to just a small lead, it's very easy to keep and increase that lead and help you snowball. But on the opposite side of the spectrum, if you're getting bullied and shut down in the beginning of the game, you better know how to play from behind because you won't deal nearly as much damage to make them scared of you yet. Something very useful that Wraith can do that no other ADC can is when you're on the receiving end of the enemy's hands and you're getting dunked on. Since Wraith's Knock Knock ability refunds 100% of the mana cost and decreases the cooldown, you can sit much farther back in the lane and still secure last hits by sniping the minions. In the early laning phase, I never start poking until level 2, then wait for my support who hopefully has a stun to engage and use the grenade to mark them, then snipe again right after. Try and keep yourself positioned on the far side of the lane closer to the gold buff to give yourself a little more room to react in the event of a gank. Also again, keep throwing your wards into the closest jungle or the river fog wall if your support doesn't have one down already. For builds, I almost always go with the rogue crest and evolve it into Ortis. I don't use any marksman crests because honestly, I only find myself using a handful of autos throughout any interaction and rely exclusively on my combo. If they're a very CC heavy team, you might can go Witch Stalker, but I find Ortis to usually be more successful, and I'll tell you why in just a sec. In almost every single game, I'll start out building Soul Chalice under Mind Razor, but don't finish Mind Razor right away. Just grab the Chalice for 750 gold as soon as possible, as that will start gradually increasing your mana for every minion kill you get. After grabbing the Chalice, I start building right into Vanquisher, and then lately I've started going with Resolution as my third item, and then Pain Weaver, and finishing it off with the Perforator. I see a lot of different Wraith builds, and most of them seem to be crit oriented like a traditional ADC, but I think you're crippling his potential by building him crit since his snipe ability doesn't actually proc critical strikes. I also have not seen another Wraith enjoyer use Pain Weaver since understandably it might seem weird to put on a carry, but let me tell you bro, it slaps on Wraith. It has saved my life literally countless times since I'm someone who struggles a bit with positioning. Pain Weaver gives you a boost in movement speed for every ability you cast up to 4 times. This means since I heavily rely on Wraith's grenade snipe combo, just after using that, I'm now moving significantly faster and can either engage or disengage much quicker. And if things start to get hairy, I can pop my invisibility to grant me full movement speed stacks on top of the passive movement speed granted by the ability. Then when paired with Ortis, you can turn into Usain Bolt and sprint across the entire fucking map by the time your invisibility wears off. If you don't like having fun, or you're more confident in your positioning, you can switch out Pain Weaver for something like Omen, Infernum, or Tainted Rounds if your team is lacking on the anti-heal. I also go Mind Razor and Resolution because I notice not only does it make my autos hit harder, but it basically negates any mana issues you may have, letting you spam your combo as much as you need. So in conclusion, Wraith is a very strong, unique hero that can be a lot of fun to shake things up for someone who likes playing a quote-unquote traditional carry. If I miss anything, please do let me know, but I'm hoping this will help some fellow Wraith enjoyers up their game. He, as a whole, sits pretty low on the win/pick rate, touting a 44% win rate and a 25% pick rate, which is appalling to me as I'm sitting at a 55% win rate after 100 games, the first 30 or so being pretty rough until I caught on. But oh boy, when I did, he quickly became one of my favorite heroes in the whole game, and I think he's super slept on. Let me know which heroes you'd like me to cover next, as I plan on doing all of them, not necessarily in order, but just in between some other videos I do on the channel. Any feedback or support is greatly appreciated with me being a brand new creator. Anything helps and goes a long way in helping me make better content going forward. Appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.